Hi guys, hope you're doing well. And today I'm coming on to you with the Brutal Prince or the Sinners series from Sophie Lark. She has 6 books. It's about siblings from different Italian and the Irish mafia family. So after a long tough time, I've been looking for some nice mafia books. I've been addicted to them since the time I read Gabriel Sands. So this book is the first book, and there are 6 books. So this I love posting about the books as and when I read them, so I don't forget the story when I talk about it and I tell my fresh review. So instead of doing that, now what I'm doing is you'll have 6 different clips all clipped together. So you'll have the whole video for all the 6 books in this video, and at the end we'll talk about the whole series. So this is the first book. This is called Brutal Prince, and this is there are like the gallows, and then there is the Griffin's son. His name is Callum, and Ida is the Gallows mafia daughter. All right, Gallows are the Italian mafia, and Griffins are the Irish mafia. Now, just telling you a little bit about the Griffins. Have 3 siblings. So the brother is there, who we are talking in this book. Callum, he's the eldest. Then they have another sister, and the youngest. The next book is about the youngest. And in the Gallows, they have 4 of them. So they have the first one is Dante, and then there is another, I think Nero. Then is Ida, who is the heroine of this Brutal Prince, and the final one, his name is Sebastian. I don't know how I remember their names, but forgot the sister's name in the Griffins. But okay, let's talk about Ida and Callum. These are the 2 people of this story. So these are all spoiler free, so you're going to read the books in future. I'm just going to talk a little bit, give you an overview of the book. And for me, this is a 5-star for me. I really enjoyed. I'm so hooked onto this series. So the first in this, what happens is she goes, Ida, she goes into a party and she does something, and because of that, the Irish and the Italian mafia, they said, instead of fighting, we've had bad blood for so long, let's just get these kids married. And these 2 really hate each other. So this whole book is all about that. In the beginning, they really hate each other. She does things to him you will not believe, and he's no less. All right, he's no less. But it's so funny. I love the way she wrote. I love the angst. I love the story a lot. I love the whole plot. However, there is smut. There is not smut. There is, of course, it's a dark romance. So it does have a little bit of kinky and kind of scene, but they are very well written. I love the way she's very descriptive. So when she talks about a scene, she tells you the whole story of how the things happened. I love the way how she talks about and makes the whole environment come in, or the whole feel of the room, and you're totally engrossed in this story. You feel it, and it's a whole they have a lot of heart, the characters. And I'm so excited for the next book as well, which I already started reading. So the next book is about Callum's younger sister and one of the Russian Polish mafia, which in this book they did some screw up. Because of that, the Polish mafia guy abducts Callum's sister. So that's the second book. So I'm excited about this. So in this book, again, let's go back to the Brutal Prince. For me, this trope about arranged marriage, I'm not much into it. Honestly, I don't really love that trope that much. But this enemies to lovers was another level. You will not be like on the wedding day, she does something to him. You cannot believe what happened. And then there is a scene in which he wants her to go to a party. So what he does, so they all are doing drastic thing, right? And she's very feisty. She is very spirited. She's not, though she is a mafia prince, and she lost her mom at a very young age. So she has brothers. So she knows how to be naughty, and she's not scared of anything. I love the character of the girl. And he is of course a mafia, but this is not too much mafia kind of a story, though it is part of the mafia story. But he's going to be an alderman. He's going to be like he's a politician, so he's running for something. So he's very sophisticated. They are more richer than the Italian mafia, but yes, honestly, go for it. Go read this series. I think after the 6 books there is another, their kids books are also there, so that excites me. It's like a whole family. Then there is, after this, another book which has another series, I think Underworld series, that. And then there is the final is about the kingmakers, the kids of these 6 characters. So each of it, I'm excited. So I hope you stay tuned and watch the rest of the reviews as well as I keep reading these books. All right, and thank you so much for taking time to watch my video. And of course, this is not the end. You will have the next book review and then we talk about it. I hope you stick till the end and get my real feeling about these books. I give it a 5-star, my first book. If the first book is good, only then you will go to the second book. So this book did it for me. So highly recommend, go for it. Hi guys, this is my quick review for Stolen Hair. This book, I really loved it, and in 2 nights I finished the whole thing. I finished 60% the first night and the rest 40% on the second night. It was so good. Alright, so if you have seen the previous clip, it was about brutal Prince Callum. So his youngest sister is Nessa. So it's the story of Nessa, they are part of the Irish Mafia. And the story between Nessa and story between Mikolaj, they say, but they call him Miko from the Polish Mafia. If you've read the first book, then you will go into the second for sure. So in the first book, something happened to this guy's father. He's not his real son, he is like adopted, like no blood links, but he treats him like the father. Something happens to his father, so now this guy is all ready to take revenge, and then he meets Nessa. He goes like, this is a spoiler free, so don't worry. She goes in for to his like his club. That's where he meets her, and then he abducts her and he kidnaps her and takes her to his castle. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but oh my god, it's not only that, it's Beauty and the Beast with the mafia twist. So you can imagine how good it is. He's really a beast in the beginning, really. And she's a dainty. If you've met her in the first part, she's not like her family. She's a ballerina. She thinks she's going to have a civilian life, not get into the mafia thing. She's living her life and she's very docile and all. But once she meets Miko, she also, because she's smart, but because her other elder siblings are more smarter, she sometimes doesn't they outshine her. But this doesn't happen, and then how this book has lot of angst, lot of depth, lot of emotional. I love the way Miko loved her, and how much at the end you will see he doesn't sacrifice. He's the one who screws up kidnapping her, but he does wait for her. And I love how their romance blooms and how he's had a very bad past also. So he's like a corpse. He calls himself, I was a corpse before I met you. And he truly was. She made him come back to life. So that's that good this book is. So I highly recommend that you read this book. You will not at all you will have never seen the Beauty and the Beast in this kind of like retelling kind of a story. And I think this, I'm sure all the books keep getting better. Now, as you have seen, the next story was of Nero, the brother for the sister. Yeah, Nero, brother for the sister. I'm saying here, the brother of the first. I forgot her name. Can you believe? The first, Callum's wife, her brother. So this book is about Nero, and this is about Dante. And I am very fond of Dante in these 2 books as well. So I was very curious. So I'm going to read Dante's first, then go back to Nero. Then this is Nessa's middle sister, and this is Sebastian. This is Ida. Sorry, this is Ida. So Ida has 3 brothers, right? So one is this Nero, this is one Dante, and this is the youngest, is Sebastian. So we'll see all the brothers, and Callum has two sisters, Nessa, and this is the lawyer one, I forgot her name. So her story. All right, so now I'm going to go to Dante. I might go to Dante and then maybe Callum's sister, or might go back to Nero. Let's see. So that's my plan. In the next clip I will be talking about Bloody Heart, which is Dante's, which is my present read. All right, thank you so much for taking the time for watching this, and I hope you stay in for the next clip, which will be the review of any of these books. All right, thank you. Hi guys, this is my review for The Bloody Heart by Sophie Lark. This is the fourth book in the Brutal Birthright series, but the third book I was reading. I had skipped Nero's series, but I think after this I would be going down to the fifth. It's The Broken Vows. I would be reading that one. It's a bodyguard romance, so I'm looking forward. And this is Callum's sister's story, and this Dante's friend's story, so I'm excited about that. But let's get back to this. Bloody Heart is the story of Dante. Dante, if you know, is Ida's eldest brother, and he's part of the Italian mafia. He's the eldest son, and this is a spoiler free, so please continue watching without worrying. I will not be spoiling the plot for you, but the basic genre for this one is, the trope is it's like, you know, it has a pregnancy trope. All right, it also has the second chance romance. All right, for this is the only book which I was like, the other two book which I have read, I loved it, means I finished it in 2 nights, both of them. This took me 3 nights, and I did skip a little bit, means I did rush through a little bit, because though this book is being loved by others, maybe because of I don't like this trope or something, but for me this book I would give it a 3.8. The rest I've given already 5. So I was expecting more from this, but I don't know where it lost. But Sophie's writing was amazing. Maybe it's the trope, the second chance, what didn't work for me, or the ending was a little rushed for me, and that's all I would say. But nonetheless, it's a must read, because this is story of our favorite Declan, and he is the eldest son. And what happened is, it starts with when he first time meets the girl's name is Simone. He meets her first time. She's not part of any mafia. She's supposed to be an ambassador's, not ambassadors, or like some ambassadors, yes, some ambassador's daughter, Ghana ambassador's daughter. And he and she meets first time is that she's sitting in the car, and he's running from a big like a mafia deal he had. There's something screwed up, and he goes in to steal the car, and he meets her for the first time, and it's instant love. And it reminds me a little bit of Notebook. The Notebook is one of my favorite books, so it has a little bit of that. Yeah, I do love second love romances, but I don't know why it didn't work this one for me. So however, like he meets her again, like, you know, they have a whirlwind of romance. He loves her, like even till present date he's never fallen really in love with anybody, and she herself. And then something happens to her. That's the reason she goes back. She leaves the whole Chicago, and then after say another 10 years she returns back with her father. Her father has some big event coming up, and Callum, as we know, is one of the mayor's man. So they again meet, and then the love romance is rekindled. And in this also we'll meet, I always forget, it's Rihanna's, the Callum's sister. The fourth book will be about. So we will meet her, the Broken Vow, the hero from that, because he's Declan's best friend, so we'll be meeting him also. I'm excited about Broken Vows, because Broken Vows has one of my favorite, like I'm excited about the whole bodyguard trope. I really love that, so I'm sure I'm going to love that book. But again, let's go back. This book had another thing very interesting, was you see a lot of Ida. Ida is so funny. From the first book I really loved her. I loved her character a lot, and you see a lot of it, and she's pregnant in this, Ida. All right, so you will see a little bit of Ida and Callum also. The best thing about all these books that we read, it's like a family. You're reading a family story, so it's hard to leave anybody. So I highly recommend reading this. Now I'll come back to you with the Broken Vow, and then I'll go back to Nero's story, and at the end I'll read Sebastian's story. Then we'll be done with the Brutal Birthright, and then I'm going into the Underworld series, and I'll read the first 4 books, and then I'll go back to the kids' books. So it's going to be a long Sophie Lark journey with me. All these videos for the first Brutal Birth, 6 of them I'll be posting together. They are in different clips because as I read I talk about it, otherwise I'll forget about the characters because you read so many books. This is my 36th book this year, so but then there are some characters which you will always remember. Like the previous book was one of my favorite. I gave it a 5-star, but I could even give it more. I love the Beauty and the Beast retake. All right, so I think Nero's book is also going to be fun. I am going to wait after I finish the Callum sisters book, and I hope I'll remember her name the next time we meet. All right, thank you and take care. Hi guys, so hope you're doing well. I'm well and hope the same for each one of you. So if you've been watching these videos of mine, you know that I have been having different clips for each of the books from Sophie Lark. So finally I got done with the Broken Vow, and this is the story between Rylan and Riona. And finally I got the name right. So Riona is the sister for Callum from the Griffins family, and this guy Rylan is the brother of not brother, is the friend of Dante. Dante is supposed to be the previous guy we have talked about, the Bloody Heart. We saw him there. He had helped to Dante with rescuing his girlfriend. So he's a very good guy, and they have been friends during the army life, Dante and him. And Dante and Riona are good friends as well. So this Broken Vow, of all of the 6 books, the Brutal Prince, the Stolen Hair, the Bloody Heart, and then is the Broken Vow, the four books I have read so far. This Broken Vow is my second favorite. My first favorite was going to be Stolen Hair. I love the story of Nessa and Miko. The whole Beauty and the Beast is my favorite. First is this. Now the second is Broken Vow, and then goes the third is my favorite Brutal Prince. It was also quite good. And then the Bloody Heart, which is not my top favorite, but it's one of my favorites as well. So you can see this in Broken Vow. Let's start about it. The Broken Vow is supposed to be a story between these Rylan and Riona. Now we know Riona is a big although we have met her previously, she's very focused on her career. She wants to do as good as the men are. She wants to be that good. She wants equal rights for men, and she's very driven, career minded, focused. She's not very emotional and so on. Now while as Rylan is basically a cowboy. He lives in Tennessee, and he his family lived there, and he's a cowboy. He has a ranch and so on, but he has left that place for some reason. This is a spoiler free, and he was 18. He left that place. Then he joined the army, and that's where he met Dante. So now what happens, Riona, she has a hit. There's a very big hitman they know in this in Chicago who's behind her, who's trying to kill her. So we'll see her in the first part that she's trying he tries to drown her. All right, and then she's really psyched out and she's worried. So Dante and Callum is a brother and Dante is a best friend now. So Dante and Callum, they think of the best because somebody has to always be with her. And Callum is having a baby with Ida, and Dante is also having another baby, and he's going to get married to his girlfriend from the previous book. So they have their own. They are also a little busy, but doesn't mean they're busy that they cannot be. But she really needs a bodyguard. So whom do they trust? Here comes Rylan, who is still, he goes and he's still into he goes, the army hires him. He's a part of a Black Knight or some kind of a group, so army hires him. So now this gentleman, comes in and he's supposed to be protecting her. He likes her fire, and of course it's a bodyguard romance, so I love that. Is my another favorite. I think I'm reading all these books, I am realizing what are my troops: Beauty and the Beast, bodyguard romance I really love. So that's what's happened. And she has a boyfriend, Riona. It's just for the sake of having a boyfriend. She's not emotionally attached, he himself is not. But then all that is happening, and then something big happens that these two need to fled to his ranch. So you go into the cowboy heartlands and you meet his family, and he's not come home for almost 3-4 years. So it's quite fun to read. It really very well written book. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend the whole series. But do leave in the comments if you've read all the books, which was your favorite. This author is, I'm so glad I found her. I'm so excited to read all her books. Now I'm going to do Broken Vow is finished, and I'm going to start with Savage Lover. This is the Nero story. I loved Nero's character a lot, so let's see how it's. But the only thing is, it's all about Fast and Furious cars, so I'm not much into cars, so let's see how that will go. And the final is for the youngest brother Sebastian. Then I'm done with the 6 of these. Then you will see so many dark romances. These are all in Kindle Unlimited, so that's the best part. Then I'm going to read the first 4 books of the Underworld. Once I'm done with these 4, that's my plan, is to go to the Kingmakers. These are all the Kingmakers of all the kids for all of these mafia and the underworld people. So I'm excited to read that. So that's about it. Thank you, and let's meet next for the review of the Savage Lover. And this is again a 5-star for me. And these 2 are my top favorite. It's so hard to delete them because they are in Kindle Unlimited for me. But I can always go back and read them. Maybe I'll buy them. Let's see. Alright, thank you so much for watching my video. Take care. Hi guys, so I'm back again with the review for Savage Lover. So I thought let me show you my face. I've always talked showing the Kindle, but I had asked in a post. So people said while showing the books you can talk about it, and they would like to see my expressions also while I make the videos for the books. So let's go. Savage Lover, if you've been following me in this journey for all the review of all the 6 books, Savage Lover is basically the 3rd book. It's the story of Nero, who's part of the Ferrara, the Italian mafia. He's the 3rd brother, and I have read, this is my 5th book from the series, the Brutal Birthright series from Sophie Lark. However, I'm not much into cars, but oh my god, this book really made me fall in love with the car, because I finished it, or you will not believe it, I finished around 60% on the first night, and then I had to sleep. I slept at 2, woke up at 5, sending my daughter to school. It was so good. And Nero was simply as I had thought about him. Camille is the main female character. She was amazing as well. You should see how, I don't know, I'm looking somewhere else. Sometime you might be thinking it's hard for me to, I never spoken much in the mobile. So this is again, it's a mafia trope, and definitely friends to, like, enemies to lover, that kind of a trope. We know Nero, we have seen him in books, we know he's ruthless, he doesn't give a shit about anybody or anything. He's a Casanova. He just uses girls, not in a bad way. Like, of course they know him, they want to use him. He's very handsome. He's the prettiest of all the boys, like Dante, Sebastian and him. Sebastian is the youngest, so he's simply amazing in that way. They are rich people, Ferrara, the whole clan. And Camille, she is coming from they live in the same old town, but she lives in a poorer side of the place, and she's very poor. She doesn't have a mom. Her mom was a stripper, she left long time back, and she has a brother and her dad. So this is a spoiler free, so we just talk a little, not too much. So the beginning of the story, you will see they've known each other. They went to the same school, both Nero and her. But Nero was never attracted to her, and she never cared. She doesn't want. She acts like she herself is she didn't went to college. Her dad has a garage where he fixes cars, so she does that. She's a mechanic. That's what she's become now. And Nero, we know he loves cars. He loves talking. So that is something that connects them. But then the way Sophie writes is simply amazing. I'm loving her book, all the series. Now after this, I'll read the Crown one, the Sebastian story. Then I'm done with all the 6 books, and then I'll read them at the end of the video. So these are all connected videos that I'm posting. And then I'm going to start with the Underworld series and read the first 4 books, and then I'm going to go into the Kingmaker series, the kids for these all these brutal birthright. So stay tuned for that. But then yes, so this book has everything. It's like Fast and Furious, and they have a bank robbery. It's like an action movie, but with a lot of romance, lot of spice. Sophie writes a lot of spice in her book, so if you like spice, you will not miss out on that. But more than that, she has good character. For me, I like spice, like little bit but not too much, so sometimes I just go over it. But she does a good spice. But the way she develops the characters, the way she writes, like they have a heart, they're emotional. You want to reread the lines so many times. It's that good. So I highly recommend you to read this. This definitely is my fifth. Like out of the 5 books, it's so hard to choose which is. This again is a 5-star. I think only the Bloody Heart for me was the 4.8, 4.7 star. But this is again another 5-star. It's so hard to rate the books, so hard. But at the end, I definitely will do. Highly recommend reading this book, and go as order, because I saw in Goodreads many people had given it 3.8, 3.7. That's why sometimes I don't only focus on the Goodreads, because you might like that book more than somebody else likes. So taste differs. But I'm really enjoying this Sophie Lark journey, and thank you for following me. Next we'll meet in Sebastian's story, and then we do a wrap up, and I'll be posting this video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I'll see you in the next part of the video. Hi guys, so this is the final book, The Heavy Crown, from the whole Brutal Birthright series. So finally I'm done with this series. I've read all the 6 books, and I loved the series totally, and I'm looking forward for next, because next is going to be the Kingmakers, but not all the books. I will leave the reading order she recommends, and the one I've seen in Instagram, she recommends the reading order. So I'm going to post that, because after this I was thinking I'll jump into the Underworld, read the 4 books, and then go into Kingmakers. But what she recommends is read this book, read these 6 first, then read the first 2 books of the Kingmakers, then the first 2 books of the Underworld, and then the next 2 books of the last 2 books of the Kingmakers, then another. That's how she has the sequence. So you read the first 6 books of the Brutal Birthright, then you read the 2 books of Kingmakers, then the 2 books of Underworld, again 2 books of Kingmakers, and the final will be the 2 books of the Underworld, and then there is the 5th Kingmaker, which is the graduation at the end. So there are those 5 books, but that is going to be in the future video, which I will be talking to you about. So firstly, for me, The Heavy Crown was amazing as well. It was the 6th book. It's the youngest sibling, Sebastian, who I was very fond from the very first book. I liked him the most of all the siblings. Yeah. Nero's book was the most unexpected. I really didn't know it was going to be so good. It was one of my favorite reads, the 2 sisters of Callum, and Nero's book was my favorite, honestly. But yes, now this Heavy Crown is the story of Sebastian. Now times of Dante, you will see that Dante has moved out, and Nero is busy with Camille. So finally Sebastian is slowly getting into the duties, helping out his father. His athletic career is ended. So this is a spoiler free, so don't worry, I will not be spoiling it for you, but just telling you a little bit about. So now finally he is very busy at work and everything, and then he sees Yelena for the first time. She is part of the Bratva. She is part of the Russian mafia, and if you know, recently the Russian mafias was the the head was killed by Callum's father in the second book. If you've read the second book, definitely I'm sure you have come here for the sixth. So you will see the Russian mafia was killed by the Callum's father, and now the new guy they got from Moscow, his daughter is Elena. So he sees the kidnapping of Elena, and he starts falling in love with her. She starts falling in love with him, and then the story goes by. I'm not going to spoil it for you, so you need to read it. The beginning for me was okay. The 50% of it was all right, but after that, what happened, I don't know, to the book. It's such a big twist, and I'm going to tell you, you're going to cry. It's going to be amazing end. You will really like it. The way it all ended, you will love it. But there is a very big, it's a big twist. You will not think that will happen. Honestly, I was not ready for it. I knew something is going to happen for long. Of course, you knew this. He's a cunning guy, the father of Elena. He's really the worst. And Elena is, she's a mafia daughter, but he never gives her any right, or he doesn't give her any. She likes to play piano, he doesn't even buy her a piano, he doesn't take her opinion. She has a twin brother, Adrian, whose son we'll find in Kingmakers, the first book also, and something will happen. You will read, they are twin, they love each other, the twins together, but all these things in the relations, you will see. It's a nice end to this book, and getting us ready for the Kingmaker. And Kingmaker, the first book would be Sebastian and Elena's kid, and what's his name? My favorite, I forget his name always. The ballerina from the second book, Callum's sister, and Mikhail, the Polish mafia, their daughter, love story, and of course Adrian's son, Elena's brother's son, those three. So it's going to be like a love triangle, the first book. So that's going to be fun to read. Let's see how that will go. But yes, this book I would rate out of 5, I would rate 4.8. All right, and of all the 6 of the Brutal Birthright series, if you know that I have been reading these books since I think early this month, or like end of last month, like around 20th. So it was still very fast for me to finish this whole Brutal Birthright series. Last video I had shown my face and made the video, but I will try doing that, because many people are asking me to, like, always to show the face while talking, but I find it more easier this way. So now let's talk about the rating. As I had told you, for me definitely the Brutal Prince is a 5, because Brutal Prince let me take this for you. Yeah. Hi guys, so as I had promised, let me get to you about the Brutal Birthright whole series, how I rank. For me, definitely Brutal Birthright, the first Ida and Callum story, will definitely be a 5-star for me. This is the first book, literally trying to kill each other, funny. I love this book. Stolen Hair again, Nessa, I never remember her name, and Mikolai, but oh my god, Nessa gets kidnapped by Mikolai, and you know what happens. And this book is my Beauty and the Beast told in the best manner, so it's again another 5-star plus heart for me. And Savage Lover was Camille and Rivera, Nero Gallo. I never knew I would fall in love with cars so much, but I fell in love, and I loved Nero's character, and Camille was also very good, and I give it a 5-star plus heart. Bloody Heart for me didn't work that much, though it gave me Notebook's vibe. I love Notebook, but this somehow didn't work that much for me, so I give it a 4.5. Broken Vow, Riona Griffin Rellin. Oh my god, I've just fell in love with this book. The characters are simply amazing. The way the whole bodyguard genre of the romance gave me full feel, and then cowboy in the Heartland, it gave me Heartland vibes also at the end. So I love this book, so it's a 5-star plus heart for me. Heavy Crown for me was a very shocking of all, and it all got us ready for Kingmakers. So I'm excited to read this book, definitely. and I would give Heavy Crown, I would give like 4.8. So it was a good end to the whole series. I'm excited to read the other books now. As I mentioned to you, the sequence I've already told you. So now these first 2 books, then I go to this next 2, and then I go again back to Kingmakers and read these 2. I think they're called Bully and something in the real, and then I go back to these 2. Alright, thank you so much for watching my video. If you've stayed all the way till here, I hope you consider subscribing. If you love romance novels, you can look for my channel, and if you like spicy romances, historical romances, please continue following, or self-improvement, self-growth things you like, so you can also follow me for that. Thank you so much for watching all along in this video. I hope you like it. Leave in your comments if you've read the book, which was your most favorite of all the 6, and if you've read Kingmakers, how you like that. And please follow me in my Insta also, My Life with Baby S. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. Stay blessed.